So you've just purchased Divi and you're so excited because you're going to be creating amazing looking websites. At least that's the dream. But did you know that it's almost impossible to build amazing looking websites without what I'm going to discuss with you in this video? It actually took me many years for me to even understand why certain websites just look beautiful when you look at them. And when I look at mine, no matter what I do, it doesn't look right. Now, I want to show you something very important. So here I've got a brand new install of Divi. So let's say you want to work on something so basic like just your text. So here is my text module. I'm just going to go ahead and select it. The problem with Divi, but in fact, I shouldn't say the problem with Divi is, but you, the designer, need to know what units you need to use for this to work, because Divi gives you everything. It's kind of like Photoshop. You can't blame Photoshop for not creating amazing looking products. So here's what I mean. If you were to go into this text module and you want to set a size to this, if you come over here to design and then you go to text, now over here you have your values. So by default it's set on pixels. And by now, I'm sure you know that we should not design websites using pixels. So anyway, my point is, if I click here, you're going to notice that we have percentage, M, rem, VW, VH, V. Now, I've been designing websites for many years. I mean, some of these, if you were to ask me right now, what do they mean and what's the difference between this and that, I couldn't tell you. So there's a lot to choose from. So as a beginner, what do? Do you go with calc? Do you go with VH? Do you go with rem? Do you go with M? So usually when you watch tutorials, you just say, okay, I'll just go with rem. Okay, and then set it up to 1 rem. But you see, the problem is when you design this way, you don't have consistency. Because somewhere along the lines, you're going to have another page where you've forgotten what value you've used for your padding or for your margins or whatever it is, because everywhere there's values. I mean, if you go here to your spacing, there's values. So again, if you click here on this drop down, you have all this. So all your spacing, all your text, all your margins, everything has all these percentages, pixels, M's, rems. So now, are you telling me that you're just going to go in there and design a beautiful website without even knowing what units or how your units work? Now, here's another thing. The most important part of web design, which I discovered recently, is variables. Variables allow you to design consistent looking websites. And when you make a change here, it applies across the whole website. But here's the thing. When you set up a brand new website, in this case, Divi 5, if you go over here to your variables, there's nothing. Now, we also know color is very important in web design. So if I come over here to color, all we have is these 4 colors, and these 2 are identical. So the question is, and I'm going to ask you again, how are you going to pull this off? You first purchase Divi. How are you going to pull this off? How are you going to design an amazing looking website and go to a client and say, hey, you know what? Here's your website. So what I discovered was all these websites that you see that look beautiful, they have what are known as formulas applied to them. The formulas are applied in the texts, it's applied in the spacing. In fact, it's called a spacing scale. I mean, do some research. A spacing scale in web design is very important. So there's no way you're going to come over here and say, okay, I'm just going to add this. And by the way, by default, you're given this space anyway by Divi. So if you do that automatically, yes, it looks like everything is right, but this is not how we design. We need a spacing scale because all this is going to be the same across the whole website. So over the months, I've been thinking about this idea and I came up with SiteKrafter. SiteKrafter is a class-based system which allows you to design your websites using a spacing scale. It allows you to use all the rules that UI designers use. But a few days ago, I discovered an even interesting way of designing websites in this manner. And I'm going to share this with you. And this includes my brand new program or software called the Crafter Design System. It's based on Divi 5. So, you know, over here we said we have no variables and there's nothing here. Now check this out. This here is the Crafter Design System. It has everything, all designed for you ahead of time. All you need to do is to go in and start adding whatever values you need, but it's all calculated for you. So your heading 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, your paragraph text, your extra small text, all this is defined. Okay, you don't have to go in and add those. Remember those units? You don't even need to touch that. You don't even need to know what unit you're using. If I scroll further down here, you can see we have a spacing scale. So here we have padding. So this padding is extra small. This one here is small, medium, large, and this is supposed to be extra large. Again, that's all you need to remember. All you need to remember is small, medium, extra large, and so on. Over here is the spacing scale. So the margins here, this is margin top, extra large, and this is large, this is medium, small, and so on. So this makes the designing of websites much, much easier. Here we also have padding top, small, medium, large, extra large. Further down here, we have your rounded corners. Can you believe that with your rounded corners, it actually has to follow a scale? And if you take a look here, this is rounded, extra small, small, medium, and large. So that's your rounded corners. So if you remember to use, let's say, small across the whole website, your website is going to be consistent. Further down here, we have your colors. Now, all these are the shades of our primary color here. So we have primary 100 all the way to 900. For those of you that use SiteKrafter, this you may find very familiar. So further down here, we also have your section padding. Now, if you're an amateur designer, you're probably going to think, okay, all my sections are going to be the same size, but no. So this is extra small, this is small, medium, and large, and then extra large. But as you're looking at this, there's something that I know you haven't picked up, but you only see this when you take a look at a proper design. Now, this page that I have here was designed using this design system. For example, if I were to come over here and I want to check what my padding is or my margin, all I have to do is to come over here to design, and you can see straight away my spacing scale is medium, margin top, medium. No need to guess. If I need to change this, I can just go in and say margin top, extra large. You see that? And this is a scale. These are not random numbers. I want to show you where these numbers are coming from. If we now go to our variable manager, you'll notice that this is where we have all the values. This is the engine that is running this design system. So for our body text, we have this. For our body small, all our sizes are here. Okay. If you want to take a look at the colors, all the colors are done for you. Look at that. Your primary colors, your secondary colors, and so on. So everything has been put together in such a way that it is very, very easy to use. So now if I want to remove the extra large, I just click on that and the extra large is gone. And now we have this website. So here's the thing. How does this website look if we want to reduce the screen size? And this is where the genius of this system comes in. This is fluid, which means as the website gets smaller and smaller, the spacing and the text also gets smaller proportion to the screen size. And this is huge. This is what makes your websites both look professional and also very, very easy to navigate. In fact, take a look at this. I'm dragging this slowly. Now I want you to take a look at the spacing between the buttons and the image or the top padding of the section. Just take a look at that as I make this smaller. Now, do you see everything is getting smaller? I mean, the spacing is getting small. Do you see that? But again, it's very, very proportional. Look at that. Look at the image. Look at the spacing. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Everything is proportional. Now, as you're designing with this design system, you don't have to worry about breakpoints. Imagine that. We don't use breakpoints. Now, I want to do a quick demonstration and show you how to install this product. And by the way, the pricing is also fantastic. And if you're a lifetime member, this product is absolutely free and you can download it today. Okay, so let's continue on. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how to install it, and then we're going to design something basic quickly together. So over here, we have our blank Divi website. So for us to have our system loaded up, our design system, we come over here to the top, import, export. we're going to come over here and then we're going to expand this and make sure you select import presets. It's very, very important. So now I'm going to say choose file. When you purchase this product or when you downloaded it, it comes in a zipped file like this. It's called crafter.zip. Okay. So what you want to do is to open this zipped file. So the file that you need is the Crafter design system. Okay. Now the starter template is also a product I'm giving away as a bonus. So stay tuned. So I'm going to now click on open to open the design system. Next, I'm going to say import Divi Builder layout. Okay, look at that. So now we have our layout imported. It looks very basic. Now remember, this is a brand new Divi website that I've just installed. Now we can go in and set things up. The first thing you want to do in order for you to have a beautiful looking website is to start off with declaring your fonts. So we're going to come over here to our variables and then we're going to go to fonts. By default, we have Open Sans. So I'm just going to go in here and set this one here to Poppins. My body text is going to be Inter. I want to select that and then say Save Variables. Apply changes. So now make sure that everything is all saved. Okay. And then I'm going to close out of here. Save this page. Now I want to take a look and see what this page now looks like. So I'm going to open this in a new tab in a preview and you can see now my headings have been updated. Everything already looks very, very clean. I mean, this was really fast. I mean, look at that. Okay. So if we need to start designing now, here's what we need to do. We can exit from here because we don't need this page anymore because everything is now loaded. I'm going to come over here and go to page. And then I'm going to call this my new design. Great. So now I'm going to say use Divi Builder. So let's start off by adding a single column because we just want to create a header. But I want you to watch the process because this is going to be very, very exciting. Okay, so let's start off with a header. So I'm going to go ahead and search for my heading just like that. So we need to decide if this is going to be a heading 1, heading 2, or heading 3. So I'm going to come over here. Go into design, heading text. So, okay, this is heading 1. Fantastic. So how do we know the size again? Do we need to go over here and start adding all your pixels, your percentage? And no, we don't need to do that. There's two ways. So the design system has some presets for you. So you can come over here. Now look at that. You have your H1, H2, H3 already set. So I can just say, boom, that's already my size. It's fluid and you don't even need to touch it. The only thing you may want to do here is perhaps maybe make it bold, which is okay, right? And then now we can just center this. The next step is to add our paragraph text. I'm going to click here, search for my text module. Here we go. So with my text module here, it's already set. Okay. So I'm going to center it and maybe, in fact, I'll leave it like that. So the next thing I want to add are my buttons. Okay. So I'm going to click here on this plus button. This time it's going to be a group because I need to add 2 buttons. Okay. So I'm going to search for my 2 buttons here. There we go. And then I'm going to duplicate this. And then I'm going to go into my group settings. Now here's something that's very, very important. If you want this to align, you just come over here to design, layout, and then change the direction. And now they're side by side. And then if I come over here, now it's all centered. The next thing I need to do here is to add my image. So I can add it after this group. So let's search for my image here. And you can see our image has been added. Right. Now I need to find my image on my computer. So I'm going to come over here, upload files, and then I'm going to go to my downloads folder. Okay, I found my image. I'm going to go ahead and open it. And then I'm going to upload my image. All right, so we can see that everything is now in place and it looks like we've done something amazing, right? And if you're a beginner, you're probably saying, well, that looks perfect, right? But no, not yet, because now we need to add our spacing system. First of all, we need to start off with the section. So I'm going to click here anywhere, or you can click on this gear icon on the section, and then you want to add the section size. So on the top here, this is where you have all your sizes for your sections. So we have large, small. So if you go for small, it's just, small. Or you can go for large. Okay, that's nice and big. Or you can just go for medium. which is right here. Okay, so let's remove the small. Okay, the next thing you want to do is to make sure that you remove any default sizes, because that makes your website just look uniform, and that's not how we need to design, especially with our design system. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go into my elements, choose my column. Now what I normally do here is I would just go into design, and then we have a reset. So you can reset it over here, and you can see now all the spacing here is gone. So I can just do a layout reset on my column. So all the spacing is gone. So I know you're probably thinking, well, so how good is that? You know, the spacing is gone. How are we going to make it look awesome? Well, check this out. I'm going to select my image. Okay. Next, I'm going to go to spacing. Now, over here on the spacing, we have a complete spacing system. It is amazing. What you can do is we want to add a margin here. So there's two ways to do this. You can come over here and all your sizes are here. Okay. So for your spacing, you can go for large, small, and so on. So if you go for small, it's going to be a tiny little change, right? But I don't recommend this. So I'm just going to reset the field. So we have a spacing scale already. So I'm going to say MT. I'm going to look for MT for margin top. So for margin top here, I'm going to go with large. Okay. So here it is. Bang. Large. Okay. Now between my buttons and the paragraph text, I also need to add a margin. So I'm going to select this. And then again, I'm going to go to my spacing here. So we use large. This time I'm going to use medium. Okay. So over here, I'm going to use small. So again, I'm going to select my paragraph text. I'm going to come over here, margin top, small. Now, do you see already that this looks way much better? Now, the beauty of this is you can actually go in here and readjust this if you want to. So if you feel like, okay, the large is a bit too much, you can go in there and say, okay, margin top, medium. Okay. And then for the buttons here, perhaps you may think, okay, I want these buttons here closer. In fact, what did I do here? I added something wrong. I knew something was wrong. Okay, we have our spacing here as a padding. So we need to remove that. Okay, what we need is a margin top. So we're going to come over here and then we're going to say margin top small. Okay, there we go. In fact, let's increase this one here. So we want this large. Okay, so I think this looks way much better now. So now when I hit publish and I do a quick preview, we have a design now that looks really nice. I'm going to go ahead and inspect this and look at that. Everything is responsive. It's fluid. Everything is changing size based on the screen size. I mean, look at the padding on the sections. I mean, look at that. It gets bigger with the screen size. Do you see that? It's now massive. So this is how a design system works. If you decide, okay, you want to go in and use, let's say, rounded corners, you can just come over here. You go to border. Sometimes you don't even need to open this. You just click here and then you can go with medium. Now your rounded corners are all medium. Okay. When it comes to colors, because we haven't spoken about colors, you just click here, go to contents, background, and this is where all your colors are. I mean, look at how neatly laid out they are. If you want to go for a dark version, boom, just like that. Gray 900. You don't even need to go in and start messing around with, you know, what color is it? Should I enter this color or that? No, it's just there. Again, if you want to change this at any given point, you can just go in, boom. Now it's gray 400. I mean, isn't this amazing? This is designing without actually thinking a lot, because all the work is done for us. If you're going to show your clients a website that looks like this, I mean, this is definitely something that's going to look very, very professional. Now let's again reset that. So we have all this all set. And if at any point you want to change, let's say, the colors. So here, in fact, let me just do a demo of me just changing a few colors here. So for the background, I'm going to go in and add a secondary color. So I know my colors here are pretty much the same with, so my secondary color here is the same as my primary color, which is a bit annoying. So, but anyway, I'm going to go into my secondary color here. Now notice that if I go to a website like Coolers, all right, So I'm going to go to coolers.co and I'm going to generate a color. So I'm going to go with this one here. I'm going to copy that hex, come back over here, go to my colors, and then on my secondary color here, I'm just going to paste it and then hit enter. Now notice that it's just updated my website. So anywhere in my website, it is going to update, and even these secondary colors here, you can see they've updated automatically. You see that? This is how you're supposed to be designing websites. You're not supposed to be doing things manually every single time. It doesn't work. All right, you see that? Now, if I need to use a different version of this color here, I can just reset it, come in here. Now my color palette has been updated. I can go for a very, very light version of my color, and there we go. Just like that. Now, what I've done is I've packaged this into a product that is very, very easy to use, as you can see here. And I know I'm just doing a quick demo here, and it's quite difficult for you to really see how it is actually used. So I want to show you something else that's also very, very important here. Okay. So I'm just going to drag this out here so we don't lose ourselves as we're designing. So I'm going to do a quick preview here, and I want you to notice something very important. Okay. Oops. Okay. So there we go. So when you do our preview here, I'm just going to close out of here. You notice that our header and our footer is non-existent. This is another problem. As a designer, you're going to spend so much time designing all these things. So again, I want to show you how we can fix that. There's also another page that doesn't exist. If I try to search for something here and say, let's say I need to search for the word you, do you see that the design we have here is ridiculous, right? What else can I do? 404 page. If I come over here and search for a page that doesn't exist on my website, here's what we get: no results. The reason why nothing is showing on your website is because you don't have what are known as templates. So I'm going to come over here to Divi so I can show you where the templates are. So I'm going to go to my theme builder here, and there we go. There's nothing there. This is where you want to have all your 404 page, which is right here at the bottom, your search results page, your archive pages, and so on. But I have a bonus for you. If you purchase the design system, the Crafter design system today, I'm going to give you this template too. Now, this template is powerful because it has everything you need. Now, the Crafter design system is going for $77. I know you're probably thinking, wow, that's a lot of money for just a bunch of presets. But you know what? These are not just a bunch of presets. I'm also giving you away some bonuses. The first bonus here is going to be the starter template. Now, remember, I mentioned that you cannot have a website without the headers, the footers, the 404 page, and all these pages that you need. They are very, very important, and they save you a lot of time. Now, that is going for $47, but you're getting it as part of the deal. So when you purchase the design system for $77, you're going to get this product here, the starter template, for $47. You can use this on unlimited websites, and it is very, very easy to use. It has your headers, your footers, and everything is custom to your colors that you choose and your fonts that you choose. There's nothing hard-coded into it. Now, I know when you purchase something like this, you're going to need a bit of guidance on how to use it. Well, I've thought this ahead of time. I've created a course called the Crafter DV5 Design System. I will show you how to use these presets, how to customize them, how to change them, how to modify them to your liking, and how to even improve them. So this is the course that I'll be releasing some lessons very, very soon. So you're going to be automatically added to that as soon as you purchase the product. Not only that, you're also going to be a part of the community, the Divi community on diviuniversity.com. So you're always going to get support and help, which is also fantastic. Now, some of you, I know you are lifetime members. You're probably asking, well, Mac, I'm a lifetime member. Do I need to pay for this? Absolutely not. Remember, I made a promise and I said, every single one of you lifetime members, because you've been with me from the beginning and you're supporting me, because at the end of the day, this is all I do. I have to pay my bills. I have to buy these microphones, gear from what I earn from here. So you've been helping me a lot, and you've purchased lifetime memberships. And this is where I get to say thank you. So you're going to get this absolutely free. In fact, if you go to the downloads page, you can go ahead and download it straight away. Here it is, Crafter. It has 2 files. You just click on it and you can see right away it is downloaded here. You open it up and there we go. You double click and these are the 2 files. You go in here. This one is the starter template and this one is the design system. Okay, so you get them absolutely free. One is 77, the other one is 47, right? So this is going to, you can use this on unlimited websites, by the way. This is going to change the way you design your websites. There's no need for you to memorize pixels or M's or REMs or even know when to use them. This is the secret that UI developers and designers kept to themselves, and even some design agencies. They kept this secret to themselves. Like I said in the beginning, I only found out many years later that this is the secret to designing. And that's why I'm sharing this with you. And we are going to be also designing a lot of products that work with this scaling system. I know you're probably asking, Mac, what's going to happen to SiteKrafter? Well, SiteKrafter and the Crafter design system, these two are different, although they do a similar thing. If you're a power user, design agency, and you want to build maintainable, easy to use or easy to maintain websites, then you want to go for SiteKrafter, because they just need to learn a system which is a class-based system, and that's it. You just need to know all your classes and your website transforms. Whereas this is a preset-based system. So they're different. Which one you use, it's up to you. If you use this one and you join them together, does it break? Absolutely not. Nothing breaks. Everything just works fine. But the beauty is, if you purchase SiteKrafter, of course, you automatically became a lifetime member. So you now need to decide which one you want to use. I'll be making products that work for both. So don't worry about that. So you haven't lost out if you're saying, oh, but I've been learning SiteKrafter, I've lost. No, you haven't, because it's still a very powerful way of designing websites. Even Elementor is implementing this in their page builder. So this so happens to be a system that Divi uses. It's proprietary to Divi, and they use presets. And this is a way of using presets. So go ahead, guys. Purchasing this product is you supporting me. Always remember that. Until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in the next one. Take care.